very unexpected, at least in my opinion. I don't know what Jimmy's given you over there to give you that performance, but um, one thing that really caught me off guard was the Rel pick. We haven't seen Rel picked in quite a while. Could you just give me your reasoning for picking Rel there?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've just been talking about how we wanted the support pick to fit our comp better. Because I was giving the options that I had to Braun Blatt, which are a lot. And I think just we said we wanted to pay Kaisa, so there's limited options when you want to pair with Kaisa. And I was just thinking, okay, for I mean, like Nautilus is going to be not as ideal into Braum, and so it was just like it's like Braum soft counter tip, and I don't think it's that bad of a matchup, and I think it fit our comp well in terms of what our comp wants to do, and it's not going to bleed hard bot because then we're going to play top side.
And with this patch, we've been introduced to two new items: Anthem's Chains, which is for tanks, and then Hullbreaker. Have you had much time to experiment with these items?
Hullbreaker no, but that's just because I don't really play split push tops. But for uh the chains item, yeah, I've been experimenting with it and talking a lot about it with solo, just kind of like arguing where it should be viable and where it shouldn't be, and still trying to get a feel for it because I think a lot of sports are doing different things. But yeah, I think it just depends on the team comp, and then if you like have one person you need to focus, you can chain them. I really think it's just all situational, but it is now like another viable option for supports.
Yeah, and then another change is obviously Tom Kench. Obviously he used to be paired with Senna, right? For Senna Kench.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, do you think any other champion is gonna be more prominent than Senna Kench now? Like, what do you think is the best champion to pair up with Senna now?
I mean, I think there's a lot of different options, and I think just all the old options are coming back. But I also think like with Lee Sin being strong, I think a lot of the ADCs got really excited to play Lee Sin, and a lot of the sports I think have Senna in their champ pool, and they can play it on that side. So it's like the ADCs want to play something that usually just destroys what they're playing, like a counter ADC champ like Lee Sin, then they're going to play that. And then besides that, it's just like old things like Wukong Maokai. It's really up to the preference and comfort of the pools of the AD carry and support because I think both can play Senna.
Go for it, Pedro.
Yes, hello, Chime. Nice to speak to you again. Some rookies in the LCS have given their thoughts about the difference between playing in the academy and the LCS. Since you've been playing in this main stage for the past 4 weeks, going on to five, what are your thoughts on the difference between those two levels as of now?
Like by playing on stage or by playing in the LCS rather than academy?
Comparison of the academy and LCS.
I think you get away with a lot less in the LCS. I think a lot of, I mean, from my perspective, obviously, because I'm going to be playing support, but like engages and setups and stuff that feel kind of cheap, I guess. Or, like they don't feel cheap, but in academy they work. And I guess the flaws aren't pointed out. And I think it's a common thing for people to say, like, yeah, you get away with less in the LCS. But I mean, I've been experiencing that too lately. I think it's just like less fights start off of an individual mistake and more off of creativity if you're behind and like following the steps right if you're ahead.
Yes, I'd like to then move forward to Blaze Olive's performance against COG. I mean, it was the first time he played with LeBlanc in 2 years. Since he played so well, did he like turn on the switch or something that allowed him to perform as well as he did?
I don't know. I mean, I know he's been really excited about LeBlanc, and I mean, I think I mean, he got really excited when he saw the angle, and he just said, pick me LeBlanc, and yeah, I mean, I was watching the fights slightly, but I didn't see too much of what happened, but he was real strong. So yeah, I mean, I think he's just been playing well a lot lately.
Back to your interview that you did with Pedro back in week one, you said that players shouldn't be denied chances because of the NA stigma, right? Since then, we've seen a lot of roster changes in other teams where academy players have now got the chance to come up and play in the LCS. Is there any player that's came up from academy that stands out to you as they deserve to stay in the LCS?
Um, I mean, there hasn't been any changes in support. I think, that I'm aware of. So I mean, I guess Diamond came back for a little bit. But I'd say Acadian is something. I mean, obviously he's bounced in and out of the LCS for a while now. And I also play him tomorrow. But I mean, I've heard good things about him in terms of being as like a leader. And like that he's just like a genuine guy, and like it's easy to kind of rally behind him in terms of the ideas that he presents. Like gameplay aside, like not even saying it's good or bad, just like him as a person. I've heard he's like good to work with, so I'd say, I mean, Dignitas is looking better. So
And as you know, being a rookie, you know, we're now into the second half of your first split. Is there more pressure on you to perform and set like a standard of, hey, look, yes, I was in academy, but now I'm here. Like, you know, I can perform, right? Because obviously, you know, we want NA talent to grow. So is there any extra pressure on you to perform and show to these team owners that NA talent is a real thing and they can, you know, continue to, you know, be brought up into the LCS?
yeah, 100%. I mean, I think I want to show, I mean, my own org itself and other orgs that, yeah, like I am valuable and a good player, and so, like, I'm going to be working hard to prove that. And I think I do feel that pressure. I think, you know, setting a precedent for future players is like the next step in that. And yeah, I definitely want to set a good example. But I know like a lot of people have been brought up from academy, and some have stuck around and proved themselves like tactical, and some have, you know, bounced, like disappeared from the scene or bounced back to academy and never really got a shot after that. So I think it's important in your first shot, because that's going to leave a lasting impression that yeah, you perform.
And the final question from me is that you're going against Dignitas and Evil Geniuses, right? I think these games going this weekend, you know, they can go anyway. Considering, you know, you've shown time and time again the split that, you know, Golden Guardians can upset any team, just depending on how you guys play. So, you know, going into those matches, you know, how do you think it's going to go? You know, which team do you think is going to be the harder opponent to go against?
I mean, on paper, I'd say EG, but I mean, Dig has been looking a lot different lately. So, I mean, I'd say it's hard to say because that team's identity has shifted a lot. But I think the way EG plays, we didn't have it too figured out the first time, and now I think we have a better understanding of how they play. And I think, yeah, I still think EG is where I'm thinking more, but I think both are going to be good opponents.
Yes. Compared to last split, the team has only won 3 games, and for this summer, you've already passed that mark with 5 out of the 13. And so, I'd like to know how much has the team grown since starting off in the summer split, in that department, with you as the new support, and then Solo and as the top laner. How have you guys been meshing or growing from the start?
I mean, in comparison to the last split, I didn't watch or listen to their comms as much as I just watched Newbie's POV when I was playing in Academy. But I did listen to, I guess, what he was saying. But I think the difference, or what we've been growing on or working on as a team, is I guess just making clear and proactive plans. And I think just always having a plan, and I mean, just like playing aggressive and following through on calls. Because I feel like when we let ourselves down, let the fans down, it's when we hesitate, when we know, or like when we hesitate, or we just fail to make plans in general. And I think we've been like, our coaches have been coming down really hard, and I know myself has been coming down really hard myself, and like frustrated when I don't, I guess, come up with proactive plans and give my teams reliable engages and like set up reliable fights, because I know that, you know, they are playing well, I think, our carries, and I think I want to set them up where they feel in a position to consistently do that.
All right. Thank you, Chime. That completes our scrum. We really appreciate you taking all the time to answer our questions. And
Awesome.
yeah, have a nice night.
Thanks. Yeah. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.